What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope all you're having a great day so far. Jumping into this episode of Y&R. I don't understand why the writers keep acting like Chelsea and Nick had this great love story. They really didn't. For me, I felt like Chelsea and Nick were boring when they were a couple. And I felt like they were the couple that never should have happened. You know what I mean? It's just too close. You know, why would you want to be with your brother's ex-wife or whatever the case may be? Why would you want to be with her? That should have just been off limits. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not surprised, you know, on daytime TV, you know, brothers hooking up with their brothers' exes and, you know, dads hooking up with the son's exes and stuff. It's just nasty, first of all. Like, I'm not trying to marry... I would never try to sleep with or marry my brother's ex-wife. That's just disgusting. Like, on so many levels. And it's weird. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you marry a woman who literally has the same last name as you because she was a part of your family at one point. Like, no. And you're basically going to be the stepdad to your nephew. Like, that's just all types of weird. But like I said, I just felt like Chelsea and Nick were always boring. You know what I mean? And sad to say it, I have to agree with Summer. And I definitely have to agree with Victoria. Like, I feel like Nick is setting himself up for failure if he tries to get back with Chelsea. Because at the end of the day, Chelsea, right now, she's denying Adam and saying, you know, she's moved on. She's not the old Chelsea. She's not in love with Adam anymore. I feel like she's lying. She's definitely lying. She's still in love with Adam. You know what I mean? Like, you can see it. And she's always going to be the love of Adam's life. And I believe Adam will always be the love of her life. Nick can't compete with that. You know, as much as he's trying to. Nick has convinced himself that Chelsea's never going back to Adam. You can't be so sure of that. He was convinced that Sharon was done with Adam at one point. But that proved to be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, Nick, he's setting himself up for a colossal failure. And I can't wait to see his heart get broken again because he wants to be stupid and not listen to anybody else. Like even your daughter. And as much as I agree with Summer, I do feel like she's a little hypocritical because she has had bad relationship after bad relationship. And hell, Nick has warned her too several times about some of the relationships she was getting into and she never listened. So like father, like daughter, neither one of them listened. So, you know, you set yourself up for failure. Don't be surprised when it happens. It's also kind of funny how Nick always like rejects anything Newman. Like he doesn't want to work for Newman Enterprises. He doesn't want to, you know, really be around their father that much. But yet when you need or want something, you come running right back to Newman Enterprises. Because, of course, he wants to use the private jet for Chelsea to go and, you know, check on Connor and let Connor know that her husband died. Connor's adopted father, Calvin, passed away. First of all, it was kind of funny watching him basically beg Victoria and try to guilt trip her into letting Chelsea use the jet. Basically let him and Chelsea use the jet because, of course, he wanted to go with her. Bringing up all this stuff about how Chelsea gave birth to Johnny and let Victoria raise him and stuff. Like, don't try to guilt trip her over no jet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can afford to buy a first class plane ticket. Why not just fly commercial instead of begging to use the jet? You could have just flown commercial and let that be that. You know what I mean? Like, what, y'all too good to fly commercial? Because y'all Newmans? Fly commercial and call it a day. What you begging to borrow the jet for? You know how much it costs to gas up a jet? I'm just saying. And also, he basically gave Victoria some information that she could use against Adam and Phyllis for Dark Horse. Basically, when Nick was CEO of Dark Horse, he entered into some type of deal, like for some type of project. Basically, it was a deal for a high-rise project, $115 million or something like that. It was like a $115 million deal for a high-rise project. So basically, if the project gets delayed or whatever the case may be, it could put Dark Horse in financial trouble. That way, Victoria could probably swoop in and have Newman Enterprises take over the company. My thing is, you know, Nick is trying to make it seem like, oh, Victoria could get one up on Adam. But Adam doesn't really care about Dark Horse, though. The only reason he bought Dark Horse was so he could have leverage over Nick to give him custody of Christian, which didn't work. That's the only reason he bought that company. Adam doesn't give a damn about that company. Why you think he put Phyllis in charge? Adam doesn't really care about it. He wouldn't be heartbroken if he lost it. You know what I mean? It wasn't his company to begin with. He didn't start that company, so why would he care if Newman buys the company? He just didn't want Nick to have it. You know what I mean? If Victoria somehow manages to steal it out from under him, I doubt he would be all that heartbroken and care about it. And all they're doing is reuniting this damn feud. I mean, the feud is already there still, but you're just going to make Adam want to come after you even harder. You know what I'm saying? And you know how Adam is when he's wounded. When he feels wounded, like a wounded animal, he's more dangerous. So Victoria might want to tread lightly. I'm just saying. Because I always felt like Victoria and Nick combined separately, they're just not really that big of a match for Adam. Like, they don't think like him. You know what I'm saying? They try to be devious and stuff like that, but it backfires all the time. Because they just don't learn. So anyway, moving on from that. So Summer is still hell-bent on being an influencer and going to red carpet events and showing off Jabot products and stuff at the events. Billy was totally on board with it. Jack, of course, was skeptical because Jack knows Theo. And he feels like Theo's a bad influence because apparently him and Kyle got into some trouble when they were in New York. You know, back when Kyle lived in New York. So Jack doesn't really like or really trust Theo that much. But I agree with Billy. Summer's a big girl. She can handle herself. And at the end of the day, Jack is not her father. I understand Jack feels like a father figure to her, of course, so he wants to look out for Summer because he genuinely cares about Summer. But I agree with Billy. Let Nick worry about that. That's her dad. Phyllis is her mom. Let her parents worry about her. We need to focus on business. I agree. I mean, you know, I'm not mad at Jack for caring about her and worrying about her well-being. But Billy has a point. She's an adult. Let her make her mistakes. You know, if her being around Theo is a mistake, that's something she needs to learn. You know what I mean? She needs to learn from and make her own mistakes. You can't clean up and fix everything for her. That's the problem with some of these people now. You keep cleaning up their messes all the time. They're going to continue to make the mess because they know that their parents and, you know, parent figures are going to be around to clean up said mess. And they will never learn if you keep doing it. So let her make her mistakes. She's an adult. Let her do her. You know, is what it is. She'll learn, hopefully. But if she hasn't learned in the past, she ain't gonna learn no time soon. So anyway, I was also hoping that Jack would not use Victor's illness against him because Jack doesn't really know what's going on with Victor, of course. But he has noticed that Victor has been acting a little strange. You know, like the mere fact that he forgot that he already paid his lunch bill and stuff like that when they were at Society. Because that's a part of Victor's side effect for his new treatment to battle his illness and stuff like that. He's starting to have, you know, forgetfulness and stuff like that. He's starting to forget. But I just hope, and I'm glad that Billy kept his mouth shut about Victor's condition and stuff like that, because one, you don't want to piss off Victoria and betray her. You know what I mean? And, you know, Victoria and them are just basically worried that Jack might try to, you know, hopefully not use it against Victor because of the situation with Dina and her Alzheimer's. But you know Jack is devious when he wants to be. And if he has one up on Victor, you already know he's going to, he's going to take it. If he has any leverage against Victor, he's definitely going to use it at some point. I would hope in this situation he'll be the bigger person and not do it, but I wouldn't trust Jack with that information. And Victor definitely wouldn't want Jack to know his medical business. You know what I mean? Definitely not. But Christine, it was so funny because basically the DA's office, her bosses and stuff want to settle, well, they have settled the lawsuit with Victor. That the civil lawsuit that Victor filed against the GCPD and the DA's office for their botched investigation on what happened with JT. So they decided to settle out of court and stuff for an undisclosed amount. I don't blame Christine for being pissed because that's basically throwing her department and the GCPD under the bus, basically making them look like they're incompetent and they have a grudge against the Newman family. So that's not a good look. You know what I mean? It's not a good look for their office because it makes them look hella bad that you're settling out of court. You know what I'm saying? And Victor know he was doing that on purpose because Victor obviously don't need the little money that they paid him. You know what I'm saying? Them little peanuts that I'm sure they paid him, please. That's pocket change to Victor. He only did it just to do it and prove that he can and that he got power. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason he did it. And basically, Victor still ain't satisfied. Victor's still not satisfied with the settlement. He wants Christine charged. He wants her to serve jail time. Like, Victor is doing way too much. Like, I'm like, Victor, chill out. You won. There's no need to punish her further. You won. Calm down. You know, you beat the system. You got money from the state, so relax. You know what I mean? Like, you got money from the city, so what's the point in going after Christine any further, you know? It was so funny. He basically told Nikki, he was like, you know what? Let's get out of here. Because Christine basically was like, oh, at the end of the day, she going to be the winner or whatever. She going to win. Victor was like, he told Nikki, he said, let's go. I ain't got time to be sitting around with delusional people. He said, I hate being around delusional people. Victor is crazy. So Christine had a press conference basically to announce the settlement or whatever that they made with Victor. And she also announced that she's not going to run for re-election of the DA's office. Honestly, I'm not surprised that she's not going to, go for re-election as DA. I'm not surprised because I felt like she did botch the investigation into JT. Definitely did. Furthermore, I felt like Christine wasn't all that great of a DA anyway. And with them settling out of court with Victor, she wasn't going to win that re-election no-how because it was going to make her whole department look bad. You know what I mean? If she tried to run, all of that stuff was going to be brought up in the campaign and the election. It was all going to be brought up. So she would have lost either way. She would have lost. So it was smart of her to bow out. Now, what she's going to do with her career now, who knows? Maybe she'll go back to, just being a lawyer and defending people or whatever she may do. Who knows? But I'm glad Paul was supportive of her and stuff like that. Honestly, I kind of like Jack with this Mallory lady. Him and Mallory, I could definitely possibly see Jack being with her. But I wouldn't be surprised if he started messing around with Lola Mama, Mrs. Rosales. I wouldn't be surprised if he started messing with her. That's a hot woman. I mean, Jack would be crazy not to try to dip his toe up in that. I'm just saying. Like, you might want to. So that's pretty much this whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. And I'll see y'all all later. Peace.